Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. In the last video I put up a video talking about UFO activity this year and how I think UFO activity is going to only increase in the future. And I kind of related it back to this story about how Maitreya and the Masters of Wisdom are coming out into the world. Now, I think that UFO activity, because of the fact that there's been a lot of coverage on it, people are starting to put videos up on YouTube and talking more and more about it amongst their inner circles and so forth. It's not so much of a crazy idea as it was 35 years ago or 40 years ago when I first heard about UFOs. And it wasn't such a mysterious kind of thing. It's almost like yeah, I've seen UFOs, or, I believe in UFOs or whatever. Now, I don't think that people necessarily believe it totally 100% conclusively, but they do believe it in some degree. And when this information finally is sprung out into the world that it's actually real, I think it will be a revelation for people to know that there's life on other planets and what they're doing here and why they're here and so forth. Now, the late Benjamin Creme said for years that they're here on a spiritual mission. They're here to help us. They've been helping to clean our environment, to help it, until we start to notice that the world is in peril and save our planet and so forth. Now, it relates directly to Maitreya being on TV, these masters coming out, opened into the world and so forth. And I also mentioned that Maitreya will be asked at some point, probably not long after he's known for who he is, about the activity of UFOs. And he will confirm and introduce it to the majority of us that yes, there is UFOs here, and yes, they've been here helping us all along, and they're not here to harm us or anything. I also think the fact that we've known about UFOs and there's been evidence of UFOs for decades, and the fact that no one's taken us over is the real proof that they're here helping us and they're not here to take us over, because they would have done it a long time ago if that was the case. They had the technology to do it, so why wouldn't they have done it a long time ago? But the thing that I really wanted to point out about this is Maitreya, is in the beginning stages of his relationship out open in the world and known for who he is with humanity. Just in the beginning stages. Because he's not claiming to be anything special. He's just, speaking very direct but very soft and very gentle with people so that his ideas can kind of get out there. Now, once he is starting to become more and more known for who he is, or actually there will be a time when he is known for to everyone who he is, and that time will be when he comes out open on TV, on all the news media channels will cover this, and he will speak directly to humanity. And while he's at the podium, we will hear his words inwardly in our own head, in our own language. So if you're French, you'll hear it in French. If you're Japanese, you'll hear it in Japanese. I always joke about this, but if you live in the United States, you'll hear it in American or redneck or whatever you want to say, And if you're in England, you'll hear it in the proper way that English should be spoken and so forth, right? Now, at that same time when he's on the podium, according to Benjamin Creme's master, he's going to show humanity where we started, how the level of spirituality that we were as a people, and how it was actually, there was a time when even the word to steal wasn't even in our vocabulary, because we didn't have the same sense of individualism that we have today. We were much more spiritual than we were today. And how we've fallen to this level that we're at today, and even seem to keep going lower and lower. I thought 20 years ago when I thought we've fallen to this level, it was like it couldn't go any lower, but apparently we can go even lower. And he is going to present the choice for humanity. What is the choice? The choice that's within all our hands to make is, do we want to live or do we want to die? And it's going to be that clear. That's the sword of cleavage that was prophesied in the Bible. It's the choice that humanity will have to make. And the only way that we can live is for all of us to do it together. And that will give us the future that we want, the majority of us really want. Or if we continue on the same way that we're doing, we're going to perish together. And there's really no other paths. There's no third path. It's either we all live together or we all die together. And the choice is within all our hands. And I'm presenting this to you who are listening to this maybe for the first time. Maybe you've heard about this information before. But the fate of humanity is within your hands. Now, Maitreya is going to tell you that, and he's already said this many times over the years, is that he already knows the hearts of all of us. He knows that the hearts of us and the love that we have toward each other is sound. Now, it might not be manifesting itself perfectly, but he said the simplest way, he goes, I know the answer, your answer, and it makes my heart glad. So he knows that we're going to make the right decision. We're going to choose peace. We're just going through the process of it now. Now, we're not out of the woods yet, so it's not, 100%, but we're past the point of no return where we would destroy ourselves, but we do still have the access to be able to do it. So it's not 100%, but it's not, looking really, really bad, even though it looks really bad today. Now, Maitreya, in the future, will be looked at as a brother, as a teacher, nothing more, as someone here to help us, guide us, who's already gone through the trials and tribulations that you and I are all going through today, and has achieved and conquered fear, conquered anger, conquered lust, conquered, all the stuff that we're having to deal with within our own lives. He's already conquered it, as well as all these other masters. Now, he's also not coming alone. So he's coming with a tiny group of masters right now who are going to be teaching us how to live, how to build a new society, how to share the world's resources effectively, how to live peacefully amongst us, and so forth, how to clean up our rivers and our streams and our air and so forth, and to live the way that we should have been living all along. But it's humanity's choice to make. It's humanity's will that must be implemented. These masters won't do it for us, and they won't force us to do it. Under no circumstances will they ever force us to make the needed changes, because they know, like Maitreya says, they know that there won't be anything lasting and it won't be anything permanent if they do infringe on our free will. We have to decide it amongst ourselves. Now, 100% of us on the planet, so the 7 billion people, it doesn't have to be all 7 billion. It can just be a certain percentage. Now, according to Benjamin Creme's master, about 2 billion people out there want the needed changes. They're looking for peace, wanting anything for that to happen, and will be the ones that will help save our planet. So, but again, it's going to be the choice that each one of us have to make for ourselves. And how it looks is how it's going to look, But it's all starting to start now. And it's been going on for decades, but it's starting to start more and more. And these UFOs and the UFO activity is starting to play into that. And they play a big role in that, because they've helped us to sustain us to this point, but they've also starting to introduce the fact that they're here. So as time goes on and people start to know and talk more and more about these masters and Maitreya out on TV, it'll start to be more of a mainstream idea and more of an accepted idea amongst most of us, maybe not all of us, that that there's going to be elder brothers called the Masters of Wisdom that are here to help us, and they mean us no harm, and maybe we should listen to them because they've gone through what we've gone through, and they've achieved everything that we want to achieve in terms of being, manifesting our true nature as souls moment to moment. So I hope this helps. Remember to take action and help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos.